All right, so before we continue on with some of those other kind of lifestyle habits and factors that can help us control hunger, I wanted to touch real quickly on the concept of calorie density and volumetrics. So, volumetrics is a fairly popular concept that's been used in dieting for weight loss. And the basic premise is that certain foods tend to fill up more space in our stomach while ingesting fewer calories. So this graphic here really illustrates that quite well. So this is approximately what 500 calories look like within these various food groups. So you see fruits and veggies really provide a lot of bulk in our diet without a tremendous amount of calories. So do foods like potatoes, rice, and beans. If we look at meat, cheese, oils, and fats, for instance, those foods really don't provide a lot of bulk, but provide a lot of calories. So this really speaks well to that concept of making sure that we're filling up on the right kinds of foods. Interestingly enough, the fruits and veggies are not going to provide that insulin spike, the glucose spike and the insulin spike that we spoke about as well. And these foods that do provide a lot of bulk, they also stretch the contents of the stomach, stretch the endothelial lining in the stomach. And those stretch receptors actually help to single satiety as well and to keep us fuller longer. So we'll continue on now with our discussion on lifestyle habits and things we can do to control hunger. All right, so we've just concluded our discussion on meal patterns and timing, and wanted to continue on with that discussion on other lifestyle habits that can help us control hunger. One of those is using the hunger scale or the hunger satiety scale. And this is simply a 1 to 10 fullness scale with the idea in mind of stopping stopping eating when we're at a 6 or a 7. So we want to choose satisfied over stuffed. Stuffed is a 9 or a 10 on that scale. We want to stop eating somewhere at a 6 or a 7. We want to stop when we're satisfied, but not stuffed. Again, this is important with respect to whatever eating pattern we might be using, because this is going to help us control our hunger hormones at the next meal. Again, if we're overeating, if we're eating too many calories, that's likely to cause more of an insulin surge, and that corresponding storage mode that we put ourselves in, followed by that dip in blood sugar, which can lead to cravings later. So for that reason, it's a great idea to use this simple All right, so moving on with some other lifestyle factors that can help us control our hunger. And I can't stress this one enough, especially getting adequate sleep. Shooting for that at least 7 hours, if not even 8 hours of sleep each night. When we're chronically sleep deprived, that really can throw off some of those hormones that we touched on. And when that happens, that can make us crave especially refined carbohydrates, energy-dense foods. At that point, our body's just trying to keep us moving forward. Another recommendation might be making sure you've got plenty of prebiotic and probiotic foods in your diet. So some of those prebiotic foods tend to be the fiber-rich foods that are good for us anyway. So especially the fruits and vegetables, the legumes, the whole grains. These foods provide that food source also for those beneficial bacteria in our stomach. Probiotic foods, taking that concept one step further, actually have some of those live active cultures within them. So that might be yogurt, for instance, or sauerkraut, vinegar, cheese, just to name a few. The exact mechanism isn't quite understood, but individuals that have a healthy balance of beneficial flora also tend to have a healthy appetite as well. Drinking plenty of water is also very important. Water helps to kind of fill up the contents of the stomach, and sometimes we can actually confuse thirst for hunger, so there's that concept as well. Consuming water even leading into a meal is a good practice, as that can kind of fill up some of the contents of the stomach. So drink plenty of water. It's recommended to have about a half an ounce up to an ounce per pound of body weight to make sure that we're drinking adequate water. Another thought on controlling hunger is if you're a coffee drinker or a tea drinker, that can definitely be of benefit, as some of the compounds, caffeine one of them, of course, some of those compounds within those beverages tend to be a natural appetite suppressant. All right, so let's sum things up. So hunger and controlling hunger, and those hunger and satiety hormones can really be a balancing act in our lives. Our food choices influence our hunger to a large degree, whether we're choosing high fiber carbohydrates that can sustain us and keep us fuller longer, or we're choosing the wrong kind of carbohydrates that can lead to cravings in a short period. So those choices do matter. Our meal patterns and timings certainly matter, whether we choose 3 meals a day or 5 to 7 smaller meals a day, or if we're doing something that looks more like an intermittent fasting. Trying to stick with our routine can help us maintain our hunger. Keep in mind volumetrics, which is important. Again, choosing the right blend of high fiber foods and lean proteins and healthy fats to keep us fuller longer. Keep in mind the hunger scale. We just spoke about that a moment ago. Trying to stop eating at a 6 or a 7 on that scale versus a 10. So 10 being stuffed, 6 or 7 being comfortable and satisfied. Keep in mind other factors as well, like getting adequate sleep, drinking lots of water, and be mindful of how stress and emotions impact eating. I will also link up the videos to the mindful eating presentation I did some time ago. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today to take part in this presentation. I certainly do appreciate, again, the ongoing participation and all the support you guys give the program here at CIEC. Just another note with everything we have going on with the COVID-19 outbreak. I hope you are all safe and healthy, and we hope to be seeing you guys again soon. Thank you. Cheers.